Hey cousins, hurry up, grab a snack, and come on back so we can get into this tea today because we will be discussing a woman who is quite literally my favorite person on the internet. She is Onijah Robinson, the NYC city girl who has become a viral sensation for taking over Pakistan. Also, lots of big news coming from the White House today regarding women's sports and making Gaza great, arguably for the first time. Politico also has been exposed for what I'd consider the media scandal of the decade, as well as my take on climate change and why you should care more about environmentalism, but not in like the cringe, woke, tree hugger way. Y'all know the vibes. Be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to Respectfully. Now, let's talk about Onijah Robinson. I should be calling her Onijah Ahmed because she's a married woman now. So there is this viral sensation on TikTok that people have been telling me that I need to talk about and pay attention to for like at least 4 days now, but I have been taking way too long to look into this situation and I regret it because now Onijah is literally my favorite person on the internet. So the backstory is this New York City girl, I'm sorry, it's so funny to me. She is 33 years old. She found this 19-year-old guy living in Pakistan and they fell in love and got married online without ever meeting. So she flew out to Pakistan to go out there and visit for the first time. And essentially what happened was she got there in person and allegedly he had only seen her with filters on, you know, like the Snapchat and TikTok, Instagram filters that make you look a certain way. So when she got there with when some people are presuming is he saw that she was a black woman because in a lot of the filtered photos, her skin was super bright and white. He realized that is not at all what she looked like. So he went into hiding and has refused to talk to Onijah Robinson. So what do you do in that situation if you're Onijah? You don't go home and just accept defeat. You have now been married, so you got to go get your man, sis. So she refused to leave, and she has been over in Pakistan since October of last year. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So now she has been asked to leave because her visa is long expired and she has refused to leave. But instead of the police getting aggressive and doing all these things that you would expect Pakistani police to do, they have instead embraced her and she has essentially become the Beyonce of Pakistan. And the videos are the gift that keeps on giving. I hope she lives there forever. This woman deserves a Nobel Peace Prize because not only is she refusing to leave, but she's low-key running things over there, high-key running things over there, and making demands every single day. Let's play the clip.
I'm not talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm getting my Pakistani passport and Pakistani ID. I'm getting it. Do y'all agree? Mind your business. What?
Mind your business? Imagine not agreeing.
I'm getting one. Do you have one?
Do you?
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Listen. I don't live here. I'm chilling.
Okay.
Why are you not taking your flight?
It's none of your business. Now go home. Here. Take it.
What are you doing here?
Take it.
Not your place.
If you haven't found him, what's your
Back
plan?
that up.
Oh, she is packed. So as you see here, she is demanding. I have been obsessed with this woman for about 12 hours and I just cannot get over it. She is over here demanding thousands of dollars a week. And all of the media and press of Pakistan, which, no shade, y'all know Pakistan is like a terrorist state. So I didn't even know that they had media. I didn't even know that they had free press. I can't even really imagine people in Pakistan having iPhones, but everybody is there wanting to know what Onijah is going to say next. And you would think that this would blow up in flames, but it just continues to get better and better for her because she is proving that through strength, confidence, and delusion, anything is possible. She is standing on business. Let's play another clip.
Why you come in Pakistan?
I demand from the government more than $5,000 in USD to make Pakistan a better place. Good night.
Where are you?
Good.
I'm from here.
You're from America?
I'm from here now.
You're from here now. What's your plan?
My plan? I just told you to make Pakistan a better place, to build houses and make better hotels, and bring food into this country.
Why you don't go back your country?
That's none of your business, and I don't know what you're talking about. Good night.
So this woman's she's a visionary. Onijah is literally a visionary. She is letting you know not only does she want $5,000, which has now grown into wanting $2,000 a week, but she is letting you know that it is time that we build in Pakistan. We are going to make Pakistan great. Onijah, you're going to end up being the president. They're already basically treating this woman like she is the most powerful woman to have ever walked through there. And honestly, she might be. I don't really think let me not offend anybody in Pakistan because I really don't know how y'all move. I'm realizing from these clips that I have no understanding of how things are really going in Pakistan because I didn't think that women had this level of rights over there, but she is really bossing these people around. She is letting them know that she is not here to play. And she might as well be their president because that's how they're treating her. Let's look at a press conference led by Onijah.
My dear American
Listen,
sister.
I'm from Pakistan. Respect to the law.
Okay.
Respect for
Respect
the
to the law.
Okay.
Respect to Allah. And
Okay.
respect to God. Do you hear me? We're gonna have
We hear
our
you.
baby in Dubai.
जो है ये हमारी American sister
And
जो
this
है,
guy that she's
my
with
dear
apparently is like some
American
high
sister.
level, high respected person in the community that has embraced her after seeing her situation.
And
Okay.
respect to God. Do you hear me?
तो ये मतलब कह रही है कि
Making
भाई
sure she's
मुझे
clear.
आप पाकिस्तानी कहें यस माई पाकिस्तानी सिस्टर ओके सिस्टर इट्स ना ओके जब जो है वो टीपू सुल्तान थाने की मार्फत हमारे पास ये आई तो बात ये थी
She's so
कि
irritated. She
पिछले
doesn't have
2-3
a
दिन से
clue what
आप
he's saying.
तमाम मीडिया के दोस्त और आप तमाम मीडिया के भाई गवाह
Zoom
हैं
in is
कि
crazy.
ये बेचारी जो है वो कराची की सड़कों के ऊपर
When it
कभी
zooms out, look
पार्किंग
at
में,
all of
कभी
those
एक सड़क
mics.
के ऊपर,
Look
कभी
at all the
दूसरी
people.
सड़क
And
के
they're
ऊपर।
standing around this woman like she is really the president of the the president of Pakistan.
और इस परेशानी को जो है वो कम से कम मुझसे नहीं देखा गया तो मैंने जो है वो जब मुझे पता चला कि ये कल
Now-
शारा फैसल पे जो है वो नर्सरी स्टाफ के पास आ गई हैं जी
I hope he's saying the right things, okay? Like I said, Pakistan needs to be reconstructed the right way. Do you
The
hear
right
me,
way.
guys?
'Cause y'all had it messed
Make sure
up.
you put this on your camera. I'm married to Nidel Hamid. I'm Onijah Hamid. We are moving to Dubai very soon. We're gonna have our baby in Dubai.
So what's crazy about this is that Ahmed guy, like he has been apparently missing since October. The second she got there, he has ducked and dodged her. We don't even know if he's still in his house because he has been hiding. But now there are so many men who are desperately trying to be with Onijah. They're giving her money. They're funding her lifestyle. This woman, like I should have brought that video too. She was literally just sitting there counting her money up. Like this girl is in her bag. It looks like she got her $100,000 or at least some amount of money because she's really out there just hanging around doing her thing. And I wondered, I'm like, why does she want to be there so bad? Other than finding her husband, because she's telling people it's not about the money. She was flexing saying that she doesn't need any more money because she's really standing on business like that. But apparently she just really likes Pakistani culture. Here's why she's there.
Why do you love more Pakistan and Pakistani people and Pakistani food?
Because y'all pray a lot, and I really like that.
Okay, please tell us about why you coming in Pakistan.
Why what?
Why you coming in Pakistan?
Because, like I said, I like because y'all pray, and I pray all the time.
She is not the lady that wants to repeat herself. She is loud and clear. And you can see, I just want you guys to see the magnitude of how this woman has really disrupted everything over in Pakistan. And I hope you're loving her as much as I do, because I am obsessed with this woman. This is the story that I am glued and locked into. They tried to take her to the airport. I'm pretty sure twice they took her to the airport, and she just came back. She literally just came back. She does not care. She is standing on business. The police even came and tried to talk to her, and what she said to the police is one of the most iconic things I have ever heard in my life.
I know you wanted the pain because the guy stop lying in my ear.
Stop lying in my ear.
Which street are you from?
She's just like, stop lying in my ear. You know, I have to give them credit because they're really patient over there with her. Dare I even say, and I know the woke people are going to eat me up for saying this, but their police are more passionate, or not passionate, more patient than even some American police, because American police would have had this woman in jail for good reason, and I would support it too. Okay, let's be clear on that, because they should have arrested her at this point. Her visa has been expired for months now. The police have tried to take her to the airport, and she just comes back. But every time she comes back stronger. She comes back more resilient, and with more people supporting her, both in their government, in the community, and just in general. She has a whole clique with her now. And last clip I want to show you is, this is how she currently is. Vibing. She is literally the hometown hero. She's from Pakistan now. Don't ask her about her business, because it's against her religion to talk about her business. She is a powerful, strong, independent Pakistani woman. Dare I call her the eyebrows of Pakistan? I love her. And I'm really, really just impressed by this. And honestly, it gave me a more positive outlook on humanity, because even though Pakistan is literally a terror state, they are treating her so well. They are loving her. No racism in sight. All good vibes. And it again shows that delusion mixed with confidence wins. I now feel more empowered than ever to follow through with all of my delusions and all my delusional beliefs. But on a serious note, I hope they continue to treat her well. She's got to reel back a little bit on the cursing when she's talking to some of these people, because I can only imagine you can do so much cursing at these press conferences before they literally lock her up. As far as what her family has to say here in the States, her son did say that she is bipolar, if that report is true, which wouldn't sound like much of a stretch to me. So I really just ultimately hope Onijah continues to be treated like the Beyonce of Pakistan, like she rightfully should be. And we love her here at Respectfully. Moving along. And again, her husband, before we go, should be the real goofy of the day. Her husband fumbled the bag, because your wife is now a star. You should be giving her the child that she wants, moving to Dubai as planned, while building up the infrastructure of Pakistan. She is now the most powerful woman over in the Middle East. So he should be the goofy of the day, but we have someone that is even goofier, or I should say something, the company known as Politico. So I'm not even kidding. This should be getting a lot more media attention. This should be considered the media scandal of the decade. So we all know Politico. Politico is this trash media outlet that is known for its hit pieces. It's known for being a state-run media organization, which has always been a joke, but then we learned the joke is actually true. And where there's smoke, there's fire. This has been one of the most notorious news sources for a while now, because every time you see some bogus, idiotic headline, it somehow, some way is rooted and traced back to Politico. For example, when everything was going on with Hunter Biden, let's look at one of these headlines, for example. This is a classic headline from Politico. Hunter Biden's story is a Russia disinfo, dozens of former intel officials say. Who are those intel members? Because as we came to find out, this was a fully true and credible story. This was a story that was so consequential that a lot of people said that if they knew the truth about the Hunter Biden laptop, it would have affected how they voted back in 2020. But of course, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all these different outlets were tracing back their stories to Politico. So what we just learned about Politico is that they were receiving over $8 million from USAID. USAID has been in the headlines over and over again. We just talked about recently how there was the allegation that $50 million was set to go to Gaza for condoms, which were going to be used to turn into bombs. And then it was confirmed that about $15 million of condoms was sent over to the Taliban, which gives extra truth and credibility to the story about the condoms going to Gaza. So with this $8 million going to a news outlet, it raises a lot of questions. It makes it very clear that Politico has been a left-wing propaganda arm all this time, which we been knew. We already knew that, but now the money has traced and has proven that to be true. And what people are saying is that a lot of this money was actually going towards subsidizing the subscriptions from a lot of different federal agents, which I just find that very alarming. How many federal agents were needing to have a subscription to Politico? That just doesn't even make sense to me, saying that that was where they were getting their news and their information from. So which one is it? Is it the chicken or the egg? Are the government agencies giving their information to Politico, or is Politico telling the government this is actually what's happening over there? So it just shows, again, are y'all following me here? Because it is showing that Politico has been corrupt and has been a propaganda arm. And then you think about it, what are some other notorious headlines that have come out of Politico? Oh yeah, remember one of the other most consequential leaks that has happened in U.S. history when it comes to the media, the Dobbs leak? Let's look at this situation. Remember when the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade was leaked over to the press before it was even officially announced, which made so many people just go up in arms when it came to the midterm elections? Oh yeah, that was a Politico leak. So now I want to know, who was it that went over to Politico? Oh yeah, it was more than likely some left-wing administration. Yeah. So this is wild. And then what I realized is that all these employees that have been up in arms for the last week saying that they weren't getting paid. Oh yeah, the reason that they weren't getting paid over at Politico is because their funding was stopped. A massive, if not majority, of amount of their income that was coming in was coming from USAID. They sent out this employee email. We'll pull it up on the screen so you guys can read it. This is what the employees were told. Basically just this excuse of why they weren't getting paid. They tried to write it off as being some kind of technical error. Oh no. It was not a technical error. It was y'all being caught in 4K. It was your bags have been stopped like this is TSA, because the Trump administration went right up in there and they cut the funding. This is insane. These are taxpayer dollars coming from our federal government going to all of these different insane places, different countries, different organizations. But the fact that it's going to Politico, again, the source of the sources, this is your favorite left-wing source's favorite source, has been getting funded by our government. And I haven't been able to look super deep into this one, but I believe it was Liz Wheeler posted this screenshot that outside of just USAID, there are a bunch of different federal organizations that have been putting money towards Politico. So it is now being alleged that a total of $34.3 million across all fiscal cycles have been sent over to Politico. Y'all aren't mad enough for me. Y'all are not mad enough. When we talk about all the misinformation, all the hell that conservatives have gone through, all the different times that we have been censored and shut out of conversations and being told that we are misinforming the public, and people have been like, oh, well, this is what fact checker says. Guess where fact checkers was getting their information from? Politico. So Politico, y'all are the goofy of the day, and you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. We are in the age of information, and we are in the age of truth, and I'm so happy that things are changing now. Pluto is an Aquarius. I'm not going to go too far into that because y'all are going to start telling me I'm crazy, but look into it. This is an era that, according to, these Pluto and Aquarius people, these believers of truth and information coming to light. Everything in the dark comes to the light. That's all I got to say. Moving on along. Now, I want to talk in this really briefly. This was a press conference from the Trump administration that has completely broken the internet globally. Is Hamas getting evicted? Let's see what President Trump had to say.
The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. Virtually every building is down. They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious. They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
So that was President Trump next to the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu. And a lot of people have been asking me my personal thoughts on this, considering y'all know I don't play about Israel and y'all know how I feel about Gaza and what's going on over there. Now, I have a lot of mixed feelings on this. I will say that literally any government intervention over in the Gaza area is going to be better than a Palestinian terror state, particularly one led by Hamas. But, you know, people talk a lot about, well, there's all these innocent Palestinians there, and that's a heated conversation that we're not going to have today. But what I will say is there are people there who, given a better situation, given a better opportunity, I think would flourish. I think that there are people who can have the ability to unlearn a lot of the horrible, hateful things that are put into the Palestinian education system. Again, not a country. Palestine is not a country. Let's make that very clear. A region that does not have the most education system because it is infiltrated by terrorists, has been overruled by terrorists since being elected in 2005. But I will say Americans taking over the Gaza Strip would be for the betterment of society, or I shouldn't say taking over, but us having our influence over there would be better for all of society, especially in the Middle East. But I do think that that's something we have to be very careful for, or careful with. First of all, if we are partnering with Israel in this restoration and partnering with the innocent, non-terrorist Palestinian people, then I want to make it abundantly clear I don't want any American boots on the ground. That is my personal opinion. I really hope that that is not something that ends up happening at all, let alone anytime soon. And I also don't want American taxpayer dollars going over there at all. And according to Caroline Levitt, who is doing a great job, by the way, shout out to her, she has stated that it means Donald Trump, who is the best deal maker on the planet, is going to strike a deal with our partners in a region. So what that essentially means, that excerpt is saying, is that she does not, or that President Trump has said that he does not want to put any American dollars or service members over in the Gaza area. He's hoping to negotiate with the different leaders of that region, of the Middle Eastern area, and see what kind of conclusion that they can come to. And I hope that it's something that can happen, because when I first heard this, the first thing that came to my mind was, does this mean that we're about to go to war? Because that was the only way that I could see this happening. But he is going to put his best foot forward in negotiating from what they are saying. And I hope that, like the Abraham Accords, I hope that this ends up being a great thing for everyone that's over there. So that's all I have to say about that. Now, something that objectively, factually, there is no arguments allowed on my platform. This is a great thing. This is great news. Trump has officially banned trans women in women's sports. This is a huge win. Okay, outside of politics, outside of any of that, not sitting here being a cheerleader for Trump because 501c3 guidelines, this is PragerU. But my personal opinion, I love this. You have this site of all these beautiful young women and girls out there supporting this new executive order that is saving women's sports, protecting women's spaces. This executive order makes it clear that trans women are not allowed in biological women's sports. Okay, this does not mean that trans women are being erased choice. Does not mean that you can't transition as a grown woman or a grown man if you want to become a grown woman. This means that women are being protected in their spaces. Women are no longer having to compete against biological men who obviously have an advantage. And obviously, it's not an ideal situation for any of these people in the locker room. We saw the notorious situation of Leah Thomas, basically robbing the spotlight from the likes of Riley Gaines. I will never get over this image that really has cemented itself in history. Riley has become a good friend of mine, and I'm so proud of all the work that she's done. I remember just being beside myself when I saw this visual and learning more details about the fact that Riley and Leah Thomas actually tied at this event, but they had to give Leah the platform or whatever, or the higher ranking trophy or whatever the situation was, in order to have this massive press movement of showing that the NCAA is standing behind Leah Thomas being a female swimmer. And it was just unfair. It was just blatantly unfair. And Riley Gaines has gone on to do incredible things. She's a huge friend, dare I even say a family member, I should just say a cousin here at PragerU. And also, shout out to Paula Scanlon. Paula Scanlon, hi, Paula. We're talking about you, Paula. Paula's another really good friend of mine, a cousin of mine, my Asian cousin. She, I feel like, has been an unsung hero. A lot of people have given her support over the years, but I still think that she deserves so much more support and credit. If you guys remember the iconic What is a Woman documentary from Matt Walsh over at Daily Wire, there was the anonymous whistleblower. That was Paula Scanlon, the former teammate of Leah Thomas. And you guys just have to check out her story. Her story isn't just remarkable and deserves so much more attention. The fact that she for years had been trying to speak out about the Leah Thomas situation and had been sharing a locker room with Leah Thomas since back in 2019, but nobody was really paying attention. It started to make some noise on her campus, and she was shut down by the university and essentially told, we will ruin your life. We will isolate you. We will kick you off the team. We will even potentially not even let you have your degree if you keep speaking up about the discomfort that you have sharing a locker room with this biological man that she knew when Leah was identifying as a man, that now is identifying as a woman, this 6'4" man who is walking around with all of his endowments in the women's locker room. And I'm trying to keep it PG, but the stories Paula has of what Leah would say and do and talk about regarding Leah's own personal life in the locker room, intimate life, should I say, it's very, very disturbing to think that Paula, a young girl, a collegiate swimmer, was having to deal with, and nobody on her campus was giving her support. And even when girls in her locker room felt the same level of discomfort having to share a locker room with Leah Thomas, who is very clear about the fact that Leah is attracted to biological women. A lot of people don't know that. It was just a disturbing situation altogether. And I'm so, so happy that this executive order is going to protect and save women's sports. Another thing that has happened with this whole transgender recently is Lego has been, I guess, dare I say, people are trying to cancel Legos, saying that Legos is anti-LGBT and saying that Legos is reinforcing this belief that heterosexuality is the norm, which it is. I really don't understand why that is a scandal. I said the word heteronormativity earlier, and I wish you could have seen the way people were looking at me in this room, because you got to keep up with the terms. You got to keep up with the terms. They're trying to say that it is reinforcing a negative stereotype that heterosexuality is the norm, which for the sake of biological, existence, it has to be. It always is, always will be. But I was the most shocked by this situation of why they were saying that Legos is anti-LGBT. I thought that they were going to go with this narrative that, they have like the little construction worker Legos. They have all of the different, like the male and the females doing different things. I thought it was going to be something like that. Oh no, it's crazier than that. They are saying that, I can't even say it with a straight face. They are saying that Legos are anti-LGBT because they have male and female parts, referring to the fact that there is what is the word? Embeveled version. The top of the Lego has the little shapes that insert into the bottom of the Lego. They're saying that is too sexual, and it is basically giving male and female parts. First of all, Y'all are never beating the allegations that y'all over-sexualize things. And that's my most PG way of saying it. The people who are saying that Legos are anti-LGBT, the fact that you have sexualized Legos and made that into male and female genitalia, y'all need therapy and to stop watching corn. Y'all need to stop immediately because that is just weird. Like, Mr. Rodriguez, am I tripping? Is that not disgusting? I feel like that is the weirdest thing. Why are you sexualizing Legos?
I think it's just another desperate attempt here just to grasp at straws and just to further this, what have you. This is just madness. I'm hearing about this for the first time with the Legos. I can't believe it. I loved playing with Legos as a kid. I don't see the correlation. But again, this is madness. It's literally a wildfire, and it continues to just destroy everything in its path. Legos, where's the correlation? Where? I don't understand.
Where? Yeah. It is so weird. Because if you're going to use that logic and you're going to say that Legos have male and female parts, does that mean that USBs are also anti-LGBT because you have to insert a USB into a port? Does that mean that power outlets are anti-LGBT? Because don't even get us started on pencil sharpeners. Because let me stop. Oh. You know, I'm holding back on some of my jokes right now because this is a joke. It has to be a joke, but this is a serious headline that they are saying that Legos are anti-LGBT. It's like, okay, does that mean that Jenga blocks are non-binary? Does that mean, Jenga blocks, like the big wooden blocks that you just stack up on each other, are they non-binary, or is that too close to inserting? I mean, I guess because they can insert or be inserted through. This is too much. Let's move along. Now, I want to talk about, I'm calling this section Ski-Yee. Environmentalism is hot again. Now, if I'm going to be so honest, it really pisses me off how little some of you care about having clean water, soil, and air. Okay, and I'm not talking about this from like the corny, cornball, liberal, climate change, climate alarmist, eco-anxiety type of people. I'm talking about, make America healthy again. Fundamentally, you cannot make America healthy again unless we have clean soil, clean water, and clean air. I'm about to watch a few documentaries that I'm so excited to watch. I'm going to be debriefing those for you in a couple later episodes, just about clean soil, regenerative farming, and all the things that it takes to make sure that we are having clean crops. Okay, whether they're organic or not, we need to have clean soil. We need to have clean water. We need to get the chemicals out of the water. I was just with my good friend Emily Wilson, Emily Saves America, and she did a test of this, just like the different, I believe there was pathogens that are in the water, and like, it was just absolutely through the roof after the water fires. Like, our water is filthy and disgusting, and while people are trying to blame the fires on climate change when really we need to be talking about arson, there are so many other conversations that need to be happening around why we didn't have enough water, why we didn't have enough clean water, and all of that in order to fight these fires. But that's another conversation for another day. But I want to give a huge shout out to American Conservation Coalition. I recently have started working with some friends over there and just learning more about what it is that they stand for. There's this narrative that conservatives do not care about the environment and don't care about things like climate change. And that is not the case at all, because when you really think about it, the most outdoorsy people tend to be conservative. When you look at just a map of red and blue regions, a lot of these places are full of conservatives that are more outdoor heavy. So with ACC, American Conservation Coalition, they flew a bunch of political content creators out to Utah last weekend and had an incredible time. We were out there snowmobiling, and it was such a great time. I never thought I was ever going to go to the snow by choice again because I absolutely hate the cold, but this was an incredible time. This was honestly one of my favorite trips I've ever been on. We learned so much. We had a great time with all the camaraderie, and if you see, I'm over in the corner. I'm in the all black with the green mask, and what I learned that was really cool is that you are actually helping the environment by going out and being in the environment, because the money that we all put towards snowmobiling, for example, that money goes towards conserving nature and protecting ecosystems, because the left, when they talk about climate change and environmentalism, they're always like, oh, don't go in nature. We need to worry about preserving nature and not being out there at all. And that's not the case. When you're putting funds towards an organization like the one that we were at, I believe I'm going to say it wrong, but it's like Wasatch National Park over in Utah, in the Park City, Utah area. Shout out to them. Incredible customer service. And those are people who are so passionate about preserving the ecosystems of that area and making sure that area is maximized in integrity and as clean as possible. So giving money towards them, going out and snowmobiling, believe it or not, you are actually helping protect the environment. And that goes for all the different national parks, that goes towards all the different outdoor activities that you can be doing. Go out there, because conservation is better than preservation. We need to be out there conserving our ecosystems and conserving a clean, healthy environment in order to protect our planet. And again, I just want to reiterate that outdoorsy people are conservatives. Hot people go outside. Hot people go on hikes. Hot people go in the ocean. Like, make America hot again and healthy again. We are winning the environment, or this environmental battle, by aesthetics, because I feel like a lot of people are afraid to talk about climate change and environmentalism because of this whole thing with those paint people, those really cringe people, those activists that went and threw soup on the paintings. Yeah, like these just clowns going and destroying beautiful artworks to try to make a point about climate anxiety. Like, these are not the people that we are aligning with, okay? We're talking about the conservatives who want to protect the planet, the people who want to go outside and stand on business and keep the cowboys out there. When you think about environmentalists, you should be thinking of cowboys, badass people who go out and stand on business, not the Greta Thunbergs of the world. You know, Greta or Thunberg, however you say her name. I'm so happy that she's a grown woman now so we can drag her, because fun fact, before I was a BLM activist back in my woke days, I was an environmentalist, but I can at least say I never liked Greta. I never was on the bandwagon of being this woke climate anxiety person. I am somebody who has always been so for real, not like a Greta Thunberg who's like, shame on you. You've disappointed me. You've disappointed little old me. It's like, slow girl down. Oh, not slow girl down. I meant slow down, girl. She is the same girl that's out there talking about free Palestine now and always trying to make it seem like we owe her something. It's like, Greta, you are making it so difficult for people to actually care about the planet because you're so emotional and so weak and so tired. And I'm happy that you're a grown 22-year-old woman now, so we can openly read you for filth, because you always tell us that we disappoint you. But Greta, you disappoint me because I care about the planet. And I also want to say, when it comes to climate change, because that is a word that gets a lot of conservatives up in arms because of the Greta Thunbergs of the world, climate change is real. When we talk about humans impacting climate, that is real. What is not real is the climate crisis that people are trying to always have. Our planet does warm up a little bit every single year. That is a given with all the different things that are going on our planet. That is a given with things outside of human interaction. That is a very real thing. So when it comes to mitigating that and protecting our planet, again, shout out to ACC. They were teaching me this term, the eco-modernists, the people who are using tech and common sense to protect our environment. And we've done a great job of that so far. Conservative policy has actually done a great job of protecting the planet. There's been a 98% drop in climate deaths in the last century. Okay, so when people talk about all these natural disasters are getting worse and worse, no, they're not. They're getting more expensive. Like this wildfire that we just had here in Los Angeles, it's getting more expensive because more things are in the way. Things are becoming more expensive. Damage is becoming more expensive. Insurance is becoming more expensive. But when it comes to people losing their lives because of climate emergencies and climate or natural disasters, that has dropped at a very, very significant level. And for people who try to say global warming, no. More people are dying from the cold rather than the heat. That's why we need to have more clean and as sustainable as possible resources for power. That's why we are so pro-nuclear power here at PragerU. And let me just say that too. Shout out to all of the different presenters that we've had, especially like Alex Epstein, who have come here and made educational content at PragerU about climate change, about environmentalism, about nuclear energy, and just energy independence. I think energy independence is going to be one of the biggest focal points of these next 4 years. And there's a lot of misconceptions out there about nuclear power and nuclear energy. And I really want you guys to get educated on that. So please go and check out the different 5-minute videos that we have on nuclear energy. Because, for example, a lot of people think that this nuclear waste that's out there is like this green slime that is going to poison us all. No. Nuclear energy waste, also known as spent fuel. They're like little pellets that go into a tube and it's submerged in water. Like, it's a whole thing. We have more educational videos on it that'll explain it better than I can. But a couple things just to give you some reassurance when it comes to nuclear energy, because I used to be someone who was afraid of nuclear because I thought it was so dangerous and so toxic. But no, it is I think it's statistically the safest and the cleanest way to make energy. And when it comes to the lifespan of nuclear, or when it comes to your lifespan using nuclear, what that looks like, if you take your entire lifespan and if you were to have powered the entire thing on nuclear energy, the amount of spent fuel from your entire lifespan would be small enough to fit in a Coke can. That is a fact. That is not an exaggeration. If you think this, my cup of tea, basically all of the, if you fueled your entire life on nuclear energy, the spent fuel would fit inside of this cup. Okay. So when it comes to this visual that people have of just green slime being dumped into the water, like the Simpsons movie, that is not happening. That is quite literally an animation that you're seeing. And then the last 6 decades that we've been utilizing nuclear energy here in America, if you take all of that, if you take all of the spent fuel that we have had, basically, if you take all of the spent fuel that we have made in the last 6 decades here in America on nuclear energy and put it on a football field, it wouldn't even come as high as the field goal post. It would be about 30 feet high. So all of the narratives that are going on about nuclear energy being bad, it's like, no, that is the cleanest, safest, most cost efficient and waste efficient method of making energy and of having a clean and better planet. So thank you guys for tuning in for a whole nother show. Be sure to come back on Tuesday. There's always going to be more. And again, we do have a survey in the description. I want to know what you guys love to hear me talk about, what you don't like to hear me talk about. We take constructive criticism real well over here. So go ahead and check that out. Check out those 5-minute videos I was referring to on PragerU.com. And again, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Love all the support you guys have been giving the show so far. And we are just getting started. Talk to you soon.